Hey YouTubers, it's me, Lonnie Clark again, Nuts for Art. Sorry this is posting up super late. I worked late tonight getting out a penalty abatement letter for somebody. And I wanted to share with you an email that I got from Tony Sahara because he basically said don't keep thanking him because he wasn't the main driver of this thing. He was just the designer of the booklet. So that the people and the families and the women in Japan were the ones who really did a lot of the legwork, and they're actually proud of me and they like watching what I do. So I'm really pleased that there's people in Japan watching this, and I hope I make them proud. But I'm very grateful to them for creating this work. They were the ones who were dedicated enough to do this for 3 years, and in fact, they're the ones who are having to live with this. So I also want to address the fact that Tony suggested that you guys could go to mp-nuclear-free.com and donate $10 or more to get a copy of this booklet. It's considered a free copy because they're not exactly selling it, because that creates a whole other legal issue. But you can go there and they can mail it to you as a donation if you donate $10 or more. So I strongly suggest that you do that. And then he said that they're trying to figure out how to sell it. And my suggestion, Tony, would be to send it to somebody who lives in a state where they don't have to collect state sales tax, like Oregon, New Hampshire, Alaska, Montana. I wrote it down because I was actually looking into that. What are the five? Alaska, Delaware. Of course, Delaware lets everybody get away with everything. Alaska, Delaware, Montana, Oregon, and New Hampshire. I live in Oregon, so if you're interested in selling them, sending them here, I'll sell them, and we don't have to sell sales tax. We just send them out, and we can figure out a way to market them online, I guess. My suggestion may be like Etsy or even like a GoFundMe page or something like that. Anyways, but he also mentioned something that was very interesting that most people that are outside of Japan do not really understand this. When he was talking about some nuance that we don't understand about where the green tea is made. Let me just read to you what he says. It says, I would like to add some nuance here and there. The book mentions the radioactive contamination in green tea in Shizuoka Prefecture. And let me show you where that's at. I looked at this little map that they have. It's not marked, but it's right there. The Shizuoka Prefecture. And on the map of radiation, it did not have a very high level of radiation. Remember that little map we were reading? Well, I guess 13 becquerels of 137 or 134 is not considered that much, but I mean, it's not that bad. Isn't it funny how we just sort of have to accept that that's not that bad, 13? So, but listen to what he says. Most people outside of Japan don't really get what that means. Shizuoka is one of Japan's most famous tea cultivation regions and accounts for 40% of overall tea production, and I think he means 40% of the world's tea production. It's like Florida represents American oranges. And imagine how the notion of radioactive oranges could affect the entire Florida and the U.S. So that's pretty shocking. I did look it up, and it is kind of low. Remember that little map that we looked at the other night that had all the little dots all over the place? So before I started the video, I was trying to figure out where it was on this map of things, and it's actually down. You can see it's down here. Here I go again. It's down here. I outlined it a little bit. So it's not like heavily contaminated. There's lots of white and lots of areas I guess they couldn't test. But it does appear to be pretty far away from like the worst of everything. So I don't know if that's any consolation to us about that. And I take consolation in the fact that for sure we don't even test our food in the United States at all. And in fact, my friend Heidi Lambert, the woman that I was working with on No Nukes Northwest, she grew up in Hanford, and she interviewed with me a few times on UCY TV, and she honestly went through this whole thing about food production quite seriously, because after they closed down the Hanford production site for World War II, the government literally moved in farmers across the river, so that now most of America's potatoes, in fact, most of the potatoes that you eat from McDonald's, are grown right across the river and downwind from Hanford. I guess it's a lot of the potatoes. There's rice, there's apples, there's watermelons that grow up there, there's cherries, there's wine. It's a huge, beautiful, I mean, it's so magnificent. The Columbia River is breathtakingly beautiful. Unfortunately, it's incredibly radioactive right now. But we get our food from there. So keep drinking your green tea, folks, because this little area didn't actually look like it was. My guess is Hanford is way, way worse, and the food that we eat in the United States is way, way worse. So anyways, I definitely want to thank the women and the families up in Japan who took 3 years out of their lives to really dedicate themselves, and all the people who have made this publication possible. And I think this is the 6th. We're getting close to the end of the whole thing. Citizens Radiation Data Map. It's the digest edition, which means it's just the short cutoff thing, which is probably a good thing because my capacity for scientific knowledge, or I don't know, it's not knowledge, but I just have a short attention span with it. I'm sure I'm like most people. I'd rather paint and juggle and draw. So there you go. Let me get back to this. We are on now page 12. Wow, we're making some steady progress. That's what happens when you do things consistently. You make steady progress. So I got to take my glasses off to read, and I apologize for always looking down while I'm reading, but I haven't figured out how to read like this, and then I think you guys still would see me. Maybe I'll do that tonight and see how that ends up looking. What is data? What is data? That's what happens when you do the videos at 12:30 at night. What is minna-no data site? Minna-no, I remember that word. Minna-no means everybody. I like that. Everyone's data site. Minna-no data site is everyone's data site is a network of 30 citizens radioactivity measurement laboratories from all over Japan as of July 2019. After the 2011 Fukushima accident, many independent citizen-operated radioactivity measurement laboratories sprang up across Japan. Ironic that we didn't hear about any of it here in the States, right? In September 2013, a website called minna-no data site was established in an effort to integrate all of the radioactivity measurement data into a common platform and disseminate accurate information into an easy-to-understand format. As of July 2019, the data site website is home to approximately 16,000 cases of food measurement data, more than 3,400 cases of soil measurement data, and 1,700 cases of environmental samples ash, river water, and etc. That is a lot of work, you guys. In 2018, the results of the Environmental Concentration Becquerel Measurement Project, which identifies hotspot measurement data, were also made public on the website. Additionally, a section on basic information about radioactivity called Learn was uploaded to the DataSite website. The goal of the DataSite website is to publish easy to understand data for everyone to have access to. Measurement laboratories participating in DataSite continually carry out radioactivity measurements while regularly confirming the measurement accuracy of their measuring devices on DataSite's self-developed accuracy test. The administration of the network is carried out by a steering committee made up of members of the measurement laboratories and members of the DataSite Secretariat. DataSite is a non-profit volunteer group with no affiliation to political parties, social groups, or religious groups. And my eyes rolled when I heard this, that this was a self-developed accuracy test. You know, I'm just blown away, frankly, that the government, that the IAEA is so grotesquely negligent that citizens who aren't scientists, who didn't go to college to become nuclear physicists, but people living in communities attempting to protect themselves from the liars of the nuclear industry, have had to educate themselves on such an intensely complicated situation just to be able to take measurements. I'm nonplussed. So let me continue. And I have to apologize. My throat is quite dry, and I'm kind of losing my voice at some point. That may not happen tonight, but maybe tomorrow. The function of DataSite. DataSite has the following four major initiatives: to collect and publicize radioactivity measurement data from the participating measurement laboratories, to improve the knowledge and measuring techniques of the participating measurement laboratories, to carry out our own analysis and survey research based on the collected data, and to publish opinions based on the results of our survey results with the aim of influencing countermeasures and resolving problems related to radioactive contamination. In order to make these initiatives sustainable, we rely on continued measurement requests from citizens around the country. Then there's this little diagram here, which I'm going to read. And I honestly, I can't read it from here to there, so I have to turn it back around and read it. So it starts down here. It says measurement request. I'm sorry. And then number one is measurement request. And then measurement result input. Number 3 is making public measurement data. Number 4 says viewing measurement data. Number 5 is research and analysis of accumulated data. And number 6 is making public analysis and results of opinions. So I think the point of this little circle, the way it's done, is to show how they're all independent, but they all interconnect together. And so, Tony, you can probably tell me if that interpretation is correct. All right, so then we're going to go down to the next subtitle, and I think I'm just going to stop here because my throat is completely raw. The History of DataSite, 2011. The Fukushima accident occurs and massive amounts of radioactive materials are emitted. Hey, let me see if I can do this up again. I don't think I can because this is at the bottom of the page. I'm going to start over. The Fukushima accident occurs and massive amounts of radioactive materials are emitted into the surrounding environment. After the accident, many grassroots radioactive measurement laboratories start springing up in various locations around Japan. Worried about their children's health, many concerned citizens begin taking these laboratories to measure their food. Begin asking these laboratories to measure their food in an effort to detect radioactive contamination. 2012. Various citizens groups come together and establish Data Site with the aim of collecting and making public the food measurement data compiled independently by each measurement laboratory. The goal is to construct a database and publish all of the data in the same format on a single website. 2014. In January, the East Japan Soil Becquerel Measurement Project, or in parentheses, Soil Project, is conceived. And in October, with almost no budget in place, the project commences with fundraising and soil measurement activities taking place in tandem. 2017. In December, DataSite is awarded the grand prize of the Hizumi Fund for Promotion of Information Distribution. The awarding committee praised the citizens' continuous efforts to transmit and distribute information and their efforts to visualize the problem of radioactivity. Their efforts to visualize the problem. I think that's because we have to visualize it because we can't see, taste, feel, or hear it. Or touch it. I mean, I guess we touch it, but we don't know it. 2018, in November, DataSite self-publishes illustration 17 prefecture radioactivity map and close analysis, which showcases the results of the 3-year-long East Japan Soil Becquerel Measurement Project and the results of the 6-year-long food measurement analysis. The book also provides commentary and basic information about radioactivity. In 2019, in July, the book is awarded the Japan Congress of Journalists Prize. Wow! Congratulations, you guys. That's big. Wow. That's awesome. DataSite future activities. Using measurement data, DataSite will continue toward visualizing the radioactive contamination caused by the nuclear accident in Fukushima and leaving a record of this contamination for future generations. DataSite will continue to distribute information to all those who require this data. And in an effort to protect the future children everywhere, DataSite will continue carrying out measurement activities. We intend to keep sounding the alarm to the people so that this type of accident will never be repeated. Well, that's noble, but it's going to be repeated because there's nuclear power plants all over the world that are grotesquely mistreated. And so I'm going to show you this photograph. It says the award presentation ceremony for the Japan Congress of Journalists Prize. Photo by Rico Buma. And this is August 2019, so just recently. Congratulations, you guys. That's awesome. I don't know if that's fuzzy or not. Let me put my eyes on. Because it certainly looks fuzzy to me from here. Can you guys see who those people are? Come on, little webcam. That must have been an exciting day. I am not going to read this. My throat is raw. But I also, at the end of this, I really have to say something to one of my subscribers, Alex Smith. So Alex gave me an education about my nails. For about 3 years, I have been getting my nails manicured, and I always get a peace sign put on it. And I forget the name of it even, but it is actually was this the peace sign he said was part of the anti-nuclear movement, which I had no idea. And it was supposed to, the symbol was the symbol of a rocket, I guess, and that kind of looks like it. So I thought that was really interesting, kind of ironically. I have been putting it on because, I don't know, it's kind of like my protest. Like, until we have peace on earth, I'm going to have peace on my nails, at least. It's kind of like I kept my mother's, her Catholic cross in the closet until the gays got recognition in the military, because I figured if the gays have to be in the closet, so does the baby Jesus. So I kind of have these things going on in my life. So, and I guess it's kind of serendipitous, or maybe it's not an accident. I don't know if I believe in accidents, but it's kind of interesting. I want to thank everybody who is sharing this information. I cannot thank the families and the women and the men and probably teenagers who are involved in the minna-no data site. Brilliant idea. Awesome work. Congratulations on your journalist award. I honestly look up to you for your courage, because I could not imagine knowing that you're living in a nation that has a serious catastrophe that's ongoing, that your own government just pretends it does not exist. And so I applaud you for your courage, and I want to do everything I can to support you. So put your courage feet on, you guys. And we got to stick together, because we're all we got. Ciao.